Okay, we're reading from the book called Return of the Ancient Ones by Empress Verdiasi. It's the true history uncovered of the Wachita Dedugdamanya Empire. So we're on page 9. And it says, they had no money. Diego's first attempt to pilot would have led to mutiny. It was Pedro who found them half-starved and fed them. It was also his arrows fitted with gold, silver, and brass tips that made the greedy old queen decide to finance the trip. She seen his arrows fitted with gold, silver, and brass tips. Excuse me. It made the greedy old queen decide to finance the trip. He traveled a many hungry mile on foot. Too poor for horses, it was impossible for Diego to pilot a lead ship. He had not been to school or on a ship when he started out as they had done until he met the greedy queen. And if Pedro el Negro had not been with Mr. Columbus with that quiver of golden arrows with 4 different precious metals on their tips, old Columbus never would have gotten a ship for his trip. I am sure Columbus, just like any man, wanted the credit for his little boy. But one thing he forgot. It was Pedro or Peter's arrows. He had found the washed ashore body. He was a black Moor who had ruling power 900 years before the whites in Spain. The nigger, as they called him then and now, could write. He kept a log on his ship. When Columbus made his copies for the final one, he forgot to omit the name of Peter the nigger. The truth would be what really happened on arrival to these shores. A black man reached land first. A black king was found on the shores to greet that arrival of guests from the sea. All of this is in Columbus' logs. You hear that? A black king was found on the shores to greet that arrival of guests from the sea. All of this is in Columbus' logs. Why was it not included in his story? That's the point. Why is it not included in his story? Your guess is as good as mine. But we in this book are not guessing here. This is not your usual guessing game. History taught us that these poor people were so frightened that they thought a god had turned to many white gods and came ashore. And these poor people bowed on their knees to the white man. What a lie. What Mr. Columbus got was a welcome and hospitality. Now, being white, he tried to get this king to be the one to come to him. But let us read Columbus' own words and see his own map. Okay? Once again, it says, let us read Columbus's own words and see his own map. The missing truth. This was a beautiful city and handsomely constructed by the engineers of today. Is one of the wonders of the building world. Who could say that they were not civilized as they had a government? The white man has always lied to cover a reason for his plunder of other nations. So you can see here. Show you a picture here. Can't deny this. We do not want to dwell too much on Mr. Columbus' voyage, as he never made it to the Ouachita himself. Later followers found their way to a rich valley by following the route or road of the Negroes. The waterway was used as roads. This one is called Rio Negro. Rio Negro. That is what Ouachita meant, black. This is why they, the white men, had to change a word or substitute a word for Ouachita. But its sound never changed. This does not mean all of the whites were wicked. They were making a name for themselves. This was important to them then and now. The truth may hurt a tiny bit, but we gotta tell it. A white lie does not make a lie a good lie. A lie is a lie. The time has come for us to pull the cover off the lie, whereas the naked truth can come forth without any clothes on, just bare facts. That goes along with Isaiah 47:3. Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. That's what we do right now. Do just this information. Uncovering the lies. He said, I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. He will take vengeance. That's a Ha Mashayach Yahawashi coming in the power of the Most High. He said, ain't going to meet him as a man. See, how? Now we will let you see the maps of the so-called discovery. Here it is right here. Columbus' law. So, can't nobody gainsay on this. It's a fact. It's the fact of the matter. So it says, Columbus says 1492 map of Hispaniola, top, and a modern one, archaeologists believe in Basiline is where the settlement of La Navidad was located. It says Guanagari would not go to meet the ships, but resolutely insisted that Columbus come to his village. Eventually, on December 23rd, Columbus and a large party of Spaniards did pay him a visit. They know he didn't come. The king didn't come to them. His name is Guanagari. So the lie that they said we came bending down to him like they was somebody, no. He had to go to him. He didn't go to him. So continue to read. Columbus and a large party of Spaniards did pay him a visit, the king. All of the Indians returned with the Christians to the village, which Columbus affirms to be the largest and best arranged with streets than any other of those paved through and found up to that time. I read it again. Which Columbus affirms to be the largest and best arranged with streets than any other of those passed through and found up to that time. Meaning the best he'd ever seen. Finally, the cacique came to them, and the whole town, more than 2,000 persons, gathered in the piazza, which was very well swept. This king was very courteous to the people from the ships, and each of the common people brought them something to eat and drink. Afterward, the king gave to each one some of the pieces of cotton cloth that the women wear, and parrots for the admiral, and certain pieces of gold. The common people also gave the sailors some of the same pieces of cloth and other things from their houses, for small things that the Spaniards gave them, which from the way they received them seemed to be esteemed as sacred relics. No red man bowed to Columbus when he reached these shores. That was a great big white historical lie. He saw black men first. They wined and dined a hungry Columbus and his crew and gave them gifts and food to return with. It is a true saying, if you arm a snake in your bosom and feed him, that snake will surely bite you in return. Take the Columbus lesson in your bosom and learn it well. A snake is a snake regardless to the breed, color, or kind. The next thing we must discuss is, when he arrived, Columbus found a black king in power who did not bow to him and did not come one step to greet him, but sent an envoy to bring them a greeting that they could narrate on shore. If Columbus found a people here governed by a king, he did not discover anything. It had been already discovered and was in operation. The old lie is what has to be removed. The people of the kingdom, when Columbus arrived, were in the business of farming, fishing, and the manufacturing of products for inland sale, and did give Columbus supplies and aid. The houses thatched with vegetation were for the summer coolness, which was refreshing for the visitors, whom they bestowed gifts of gold upon. Listen, they had 7 cities, a completeness of gold. 7 is another number of completion. Of Cipolla, their home in the mainland. Not understanding the tongue, the sailors started to look for 7 cities. Travelers to this day do not understand. Columbus himself, an honest man who knew what his own boy was named, he would have used the proper name as in the log. Diego is a white man's story. Diego is for Spanish or Italian, like nigger is for black. It is a his story, the white man's story. So, and this is another picture I'll show you. It's in this book. So, like I say, you can't beat this. You can go all around the world. When you have actually what he said and what he wrote down, there's no question about it. That when he came to the shores of these Americas, he found a black king, and he found black people that's written here ruling. Striving. That's why when you look at even from us, you know, coming from Africa, we were very intelligent people. They didn't just get somebody flying around in trees naked and all that stuff like Africans do. No. We're very intelligent people. And I hope you'll take this and want to know more information. One more. All right. Shalom.